Hello and welcome to the shop. The other day I released a video about a pen I made where I put some denim between two sections of a blank that I cut out. And I've done something similar with debit cards, and I've done something similar with aluminum. And each time I've done that, and it may be the same person, but I've got a comment from somebody that said, you know what would look cool? What if you took several pieces of construction paper, different colors, glued them together, and then put them in the blank? Well, I finally went out and I picked up some construction paper. I went to one of those, everything's a dollar stores, and it's got, I don't know, 5 or 6 colors here. I didn't buy the one with all the fancy schmancy colors. It was quite a bit more expensive, and I thought I would use this one and try it first, and if I like it, then I'll go get one with some of the purples and the lighter blues and all the different colors. But tonight, I'm getting ready to head up to my loft, and I'm going to grab a couple of blanks. I'm going to cut them up, and we are going to glue construction paper, 3, 4 sheets, however many colors there are, in between the two blanks, and I'm going to turn them for you, and you're going to get your wish. We're going to see how they look. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they turn out cool because I think it is a cool idea. This kind of borders on micarta a little bit. It's not really, what I'm doing is really not micarta, but it kind of borders on micarta. And those of you who know what micarta is, there are people who make paper, and there are people who take paper and glue it together to form blanks that they make other things out of. And it's a pretty cool process. I'm going to try that. I've got an idea for what I'm going to call a micarta blank. It all depends on if I can get the material that I need. And I've got a guy working on it. So you may have another cool pin coming up. Really cool idea. Keep your fingers crossed for me there. But I've talked enough. I'm going to shut up. We're going to take our construction paper and we are going to make a couple of blanks and a couple of pins, and we're going to have a great time. So let's get started. Welcome to the loft, and here is the wall of blanks. What I'm going to do is select several blanks from this pile. There'll probably be poplar and maple, and there might be a few oak up there, but I'm just going to grab a handful of them, take them down, and get started. While I was up in my loft, I went ahead and grabbed 12 blanks. Now don't worry, I'm not going to sit here and make 12 construction paper blanks. I'm going to make 4 construction paper blanks. I'm going to take 4 of these and make 4 of my denim blanks, and then these 4 are going to be 4 more of the colored pencil blanks. I won't be showing these on this video, and I probably won't be doing a video of those. I just need to get some ready for the show that's coming up in November. But these 4 blanks right here, matter of fact, I'm going to go for a little lighter one so it shows up a little better, but these 4 blanks here are going to get construction paper, multiple sheets of construction paper between each of the cuts. So I'm going to head over to the scroll saw now, and I'm going to go ahead and get these blanks cut, and then we'll come back and glue up the construction paper. On this blank, I'm going to go ahead and do some wide arcing curves. And the reason why, when I make them real wide like that, they end up coming off the side of the pen, and you usually see a larger section of the material. Well, my hope is you'll see the different colors of paper. So 5, 6 colors of paper. So we're going to try some wide arcing loops, and I'll come back after I get this one glued up, and I'll flip it over, and I'll go ahead and do the other side as well. So let's get this cut up. Alright, that looks really nice. I'm going to lay that over on the table and get the next blank. I've got my blanks laid out. I'm going to go ahead and number them now, and the main reason for that is just so we can keep track of them throughout the process. I'm going to call this one number 1. This will be blank number 2, 3, and I put 2 numbers on the blanks, and the reason why is when I cut them in half, that way I can keep top and bottom blanks together, and you know, we'll draw lines to cut on, and then we'll draw cross lines to keep them pointing in the same direction. We'll take care of all that when the time comes. But at this point, what we want to do is get our construction paper ready and go ahead and start gluing these blanks up. As I look at this construction paper, there really are only three colors. You've got red, green, and yellow. The white paper is almost like a tissue paper. And there's a lot of it in there, and I just really don't like the feel of it. So I'm going to stick with the actual construction paper pieces, and we'll use those between our blanks. Just going to start out by cutting some strips of the paper. And I'm not going to get all technical. I'm just going to come close to 3/4 of an inch. So I may be closer to 1 inch. I may be closer to 1/2 of an inch. This isn't all that important. The way I'm hoping this will work is I'm just going to take some Titebond, brush it onto the blanks, make sure that it's fully covering one of the sides. Then I'll bring a piece of paper over, I'll get it smashed into all of the curves. Then I'll put some glue on it, bring another piece of paper, so on and so on, until I finally glue the other half of the blank to it. So let's see how this works. I figure that construction paper is really nothing more than wood, so I don't see why I should have an issue using Titebond to hold it, together to each piece of paper as well as to the blank. Okay, I feel like that piece is fairly well covered. We'll start with red, and we'll put a piece of red on there. I'm going to start in the middle because what happens is your paper kind of gets shorter as you go. See how as it squishes in there because you're using it up. So we'll start at the middle. We'll just smash it in there. And we're going to be a little short at the end, but that's okay because, the blank is far longer than I need it to be. I just want to make sure I don't have any wrinkles. See, like I got that wrinkle there. We're going to pull that out. There we go, because we don't need the extra distance or the extra thickness of the paper. Now let's go ahead and we'll try gluing this paper. Okay, and we'll grab a piece of green. Once again, we'll start in the middle. Okay. All right. Last piece of colored paper, yellow. Smash it in there. A little more glue. And since this paper is just so flexible, especially after getting the glue on it, making it wet with glue, I really don't think I'm going to need a whole lot of clamping pressure to hold these together. And finally, we put the last piece on there. And what I'm going to do is try to make sure I get it as square as possible on the ends so I get a nice square blank. Let me grab a clamp. Okay, that's fairly good. Go down here and get this end. Okay, I've got a nice square end there, a nice square end there. That's what I'm shooting for. I'm going to put 2 more clamps on it just to make sure I have nice, even clamping pressure. Let me move this clamp down just a little bit. There we go. All right, I'm going to double check again to make sure that my ends are square, and they are. And now I'm going to put this aside to dry. Since the glue up process isn't all that exciting, I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off, and I'm just going to repeat exactly what I did for the other 3 blanks, get them glued up and let them dry. Once they're dry, I'll come back and then we'll move on with the secondary cuts that we want to make on each of the blanks. Here are the blanks fresh out of the clamps. The only thing I did to them was unclamp them, and then I just ran them through the scroll saw and trimmed off the excess paper that was sticking out the sides of the blanks. And this one I just pulled the tape off of. Now number 1, I'm going to consider that one done. We're going to lay that one aside because that's a pattern I'm testing. We're going to take the other 3 back over to the scroll saw and make our next cuts. I've got blank 3 in my vise, And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to turn modified slimlines out of these. I really want to show off my pattern, so I'm going to go ahead and drill as far down into this blank as I can with my 7mm bit and see if I can't make a really nice looking modified slimline pin. Ooh, hate to see that happen. Looky there. It just actually blew apart. The paper didn't hold. So I think what I'm going to do is, taking that into account, I'm assuming it's heat buildup, and then you get a lot of chips. I was trying to clear off them, but you get a lot of chips built up in there, which builds a lot of pressure and probably blew it apart. I think with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and cut these in half and attempt to turn standard slimlines with these particular blanks. I don't know if you caught that in the camera, but as soon as I hit it with the bit, she split. The paper is just not holding up like I hoped it would. Right off the bat, she gave way. Well, looks like it's back to the drawing board. I think what we're going to have to do, I thought wood glue would have worked well with the paper because it is basically wood pulp. But I think what I'm going to have to do is give these another spin. And this time around, I think I'll come back and use epoxy to glue the paper in and see if that helps. Well, I gave the old construction paper blanks a good try. I'm assuming that the paper, even though I put glue thickly on both sides, just didn't have enough holding power. It just must have tore loose because it broke right down the line. I feel really bad about that, but hey, I tried it and I learned something. I learned that construction paper and wood glue do not form a strong bond. So what we're going to do is probably get some epoxy, come back and try this again with a little bit of epoxy. I think that may be the way to go, and hopefully that one will turn out. Listen, I really appreciate you guys hanging with me. I know this video was a fail, but I learned a lot, and I'm still happy with how things went. So thanks a lot for joining me in the shop tonight. I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. You come back and see me again real soon. Have a great evening, everybody.